this is Grian and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another video inside the Hermitcraft. It's a Clockwork series and all that. Well, if you've been here before, you know what's going on. But if you're new here, I would suggest going to the playlist and watching the video there, because there's a lot of things that are happening and it won't make any sense unless you go back. And I'm not about to explain it every single time, because it would just take too much time, and most people want to focus on the reading. And yeah, basically, we are in a new place, but not everything is as it seems, I guess you could say. We'll see how this goes, shall we? Chapter 11. Oh, and by the way, we're on episode 3, so a few days had passed since he arrived at the safe house and found his friends. Grian had done the best he could to make himself at home here, even though it was far from that. He'd supposed they wouldn't be able to go home for a long while, so he made the best with what he could. Grian and his friends mainly stayed away from the people here. Not for any personal reasons, just that there wasn't any real reason to interact. They've just existed in the space with them, and he just accepted that as fact. There really was really nothing more to it. Even ignoring whenever he'd catch one of the men watching him, whenever he was doing anything. He just thought that was what they were meant to do. Just leave the YouTubers to do their thing and step in whenever necessary. Grian had to admit, he didn't mind that. The young YouTuber sat alone in one of the rooms, having recently taken part in one of the once-a-day call by one of his friends. And it hadn't been too out of the ordinary or really all that memorable. Everyone appeared to be in the same boat, living in a safe house, awaiting news about when they could possibly meet again. It almost felt formulaic. Not that he knew anything about that. He was just glad his friends were okay, and vice versa. Still, the meetings felt short, since the people in the cause made sure they didn't talk for hours on end, which was a tendency amongst the hermits. They'd be told to keep it short and simple, and don't talk about anything that might reveal their location, just in case. He'd done all that, mainly so he wouldn't get in trouble on their bad side. So far, he was doing pretty good job. His thoughts were interrupted when he heard a knock on the door to the room. He accepted the entry as it opened and revealed Mumbo walking into the room. You look bored. Maybe I am a little, Grian admitted with a shrug. Well, there's something I found that might be of interest to you, the YouTuber said with a small smile. Do you want to see it? What exactly is it? Grian asked curiously. You'll see. Now come on, the young man said cheerfully. Grian obeyed, getting to his feet and following him out into the hallway towards a small space for what appeared to be a hanging painting. Grian looked at the painting thoughtfully, unsure of what Mumbo wanted to show him. The man stuck his hand abruptly through the painting, causing Grian to gasp in surprise and delight. With a secret area. That's cool, Grian declared in excitement. I know, right? I thought you'd get a kick out of it, Mumbo said happily. Do you think there's more around here? Where do you think they lead to? Grian asked. I don't know, Mumbo replied thoughtfully. But if I'm correct, they weave around the house, so we can use that to prank our friends. That would be so much fun, Grian said happily. Should we test it? Test what? The voice asked behind them. Grian jumped and turned around, seeing a tall man in camouflage uniform standing before them. Nothing, Grian said quickly. We were just, admiring the work of art. The man shook his head and smiled. Anyways, I just got a call from the school a little while ago. Apparently the kitchen is full of chickens. Do you have any idea of what that might be about? No, I don't, sir. Sorry, Grian replied quietly. Trying not to imagine the image. Knowing it, you'd probably burst out laughing and give it all away. Hopefully the chicken issue will be resolved soon, though. That sounds awful. Sure it does, the man replied calmly, with a nod. I was just making sure, since you were seen coming from the kitchen on that day. I had nothing to do with it, sir. Trust me, Grian replied matter-of-factly. Bubble chuckled quietly beside him. Very well. I guess I'll be seeing you around, the man stated before walking away, leaving the two YouTubers alone once more. You did have something to do with it, didn't you? Let's just say I was bored and wanted to have a little fun. Grian mused. I won't confirm what I am. Fair, Bubble chuckled. How about we have a look around again and see how many secret tunnels there are? Probably a lot, the YouTuber stated hopefully, knowing they could explore these tunnels for hours and never get bored of it. Maybe they'd even surprise their friends and attempt a prank. Though he wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do about that part quite yet. He'd get there when he got there. Chapter 12. I'm just not even going to mention it. Grian opened his eyes to another brand new day. A day he hoped would be full of fun and pranks. He'd spent the last week or so exploring the secret tunnels and finding ways to prank his friends. And they did the same for him. It was probably the most fun he'd had here in a while, and was totally worth it. Sure, it wasn't the same since they didn't have as much possibility for pranks as they would at home, but they did make do with what they had. The YouTuber climbed out of bed and quickly got ready, knowing that in an hour or two they'd come together and make a call to one of their friends. He couldn't wait, even though it was probably the least interesting part of the day. He wanted so badly to do more exploring in the tunnels. The cause didn't seem to mind that they were doing it. Maybe it was totally fine. They hadn't been told not to, which was why they continued doing it. When he was finished with everything in his bedroom, he opened the door and peeked around the hallway, wondering if the gods were around. Not that he needed to be sneaky with them. He was just curious. They never had an issue with them before, so there was zero reason to look like he was hiding something, even though what he usually hid were potential pranks. Things the men could care less about. Harmless pranks. Grian walked down the hallway after making sure no one was around as he headed for Mumble's bedroom, wondering if his friend was there. If not, maybe he could put a hidden dispenser that dispenses egg nearby after stepping on a pressure plate. Wouldn't that be too suspicious? Right? I don't know why I did that. He arrived at the room and pressed his ear to the door before knocking, trying to listen in to figure out if he wasn't there before making himself known. Grian stepped back after a few moments and knocked, only to be silent. This could either mean a few things. There was no one inside, or Mumbo was still fast asleep. Quietly, the YouTuber opened the door a crack and peeked inside, noticing the bed was not occupied, but something about the room didn't feel right. As he opened it the rest of the way, his room was a complete mess. Bed sheets were stripped off the bed. Stuff were all over the floor. Even the chest was wide open with stuff pouring out of it. It was like a train wreck had happened here. This was so unlike or is it? Are you looking for him too? Someone asked from behind him as Grian jumped, turning to his car, watching him intently. Where did you come from? You startled me, Grian demanded. It was just in another room when I heard you snooping around. Scar made a smile. That smile only lasted a moment before it faded. I heard a bit of commotion last night in there. I'm not sure what happened. Have you told anyone? Grian asked. Scar nodded. They told me not to worry about it, that it was probably nothing. The YouTuber frowned as he looked back at the room. This doesn't feel right. Great. Maybe I should go get a Gluma and we can check it out, Scar suggested. I don't know, Grian admitted slowly. It could be possible he's trying to pull something on us. I don't think so, Scar admitted. Just stay here and I'll go get X. Okay, Grian nodded, knowing full well his curiosity would get the better of him as Scar disappeared from sight. He stepped into the room, carefully weaving around the mess as he examined it quietly. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, apart from the fact that something had happened here. Maybe there was a secret hidden around here? He stepped towards the furthest wall on the left. He gently moved his hand along it, feeling for anything as he tried to find a sort of hidden mechanism. It didn't take him very long until his fingers brushed against something bumpy and raised. A button! It camouflaged very well into the wall, and as Grian instinctively pressed it, not being able to help himself, but knowing full well he should probably wait until his friends arrived. He watched as an unfamiliar door opened, revealing a set of stairs. He could go. I don't know why. I don't know why there's so many mistakes. I did a derp. Going deep down into the depths. The hallway was dimly lit, except for a little light coming from the door at the bottom. The stairwell looked ominous. I spelled that wrong. And somewhat creepy, but he took his first steps down, slowly walking down the stairs, cringing at every step that emitted a loud creaking sound. Had Mumbo secretly made this? Was he going down to find him just lounging at the bottom? Was this just all a prank? He wasn't sure, but... Oh no, my nose. But he couldn't shake out the uneasy feeling that none of this felt right. Finally, Grian managed to get to the bottom of the stairs as he peeked through the window of the door, noticing a relatively medium-sized room with two other exit ways, one on the far side of one wall and what appeared to be a cell. On the far side of one wall was what appeared to be a cell with someone locked inside. No, it wasn't just someone. It was Mumbo. Oh no. Confused, Grian opened the door and stepped into the room, causing the other YouTuber to look up, momentarily startled by his arrival. What are you doing here? Mumbo asked as the other YouTuber walked up to the cell. His voice sounded hushed, a bit hoarse, as if he had been calling for help aimlessly for hours. What are you doing here? Grian returned. What happened up there? I don't know what you mean, Mumbo replied admittedly. I was startled awake by a hand grabbing me one moment and dragging me down some sort of secret tunnel. Did you see who it was? Grian asked. You need to get out of here, Mumbo said determinedly. If they see you down here, they'll take you too. Who? Why? Grian asked. We need to get you out of here. Grian, please, Mumbo said quietly. As Grian unlocked the door, Mumbo stood up, his expression uncertain and unnerved. This doesn't feel right. You need to get help. Mysterious men know about this place. They use it to lure YouTubers down or something. It's how to catch us. Do you think there's more of these places? Grian asked. They seem to think so, Mumbo said, pushing Grian back towards the doorway back to the safe house. You need to get out of here. You could get help. Please. I'm not leaving you here. We can go together, Grian suggested hurriedly. Mumbo shook his head. They'll know something happened if I do. I don't want any of you to get hurt. Please, just trust me. Mumbo, you're scaring me, Grian admitted quietly as the YouTuber opened the door and shoved him inside. I'm sorry, but I have to do this, Mumbo said simply. Promise me you'll let someone know what's going on. I promise, but Grian started before he heard footsteps approaching. He could hear someone holler out something as he heard Mumbo walk slowly away, hearing harsh shouts at demands of how the YouTuber had escaped the cell and whether or not someone had been here. Mumbo had denied all these suspicions, saying he had found his own way out, and he had decided against escaping to protect his friends. Your chivalry won't save them, YouTuber, one of the men sneered darkly. At least it'll give them time, Mumbo said boldly, as one of the men scoffed and footsteps faded. Grian peeking up just in time to see his friend disappear into the darkness. He bit his bottom lip as he turned and quietly went to the stairs. Up the stairs, unsure of what to make of all of this. Mysterious men knew exactly where they all were. They weren't safe. He needed to tell someone. For Mumbo. For his friends. I'm sorry I'm going to have to do this to you, but we're going to have to end that there. There will be more, but of course. Yeah. Well, it's just an Easter egg if you guys remember the first book and all that stuff. I just wanted to add more to it, and I just didn't know how. Because, yeah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it, unless you want to read through all the first book and listen through the first book, which is absolutely fine. But, yeah, if you guys just want to stick around here, it's fine. Anyway, be sure to leave any thoughts, questions, concerns, and theories down in the description, and the comment section, the thing where you can talk. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Whenever that might be. Goodbye.